Hello, this is Mac and we are Refocusing Barbados. I am happy that I can talk to you again like we do every week. Today I want to start by looking at this pamphlet that I received over the weekend. My wife put this in my hand. It says the common entrance examination is here. Then it goes on to talk to students and to parents and outline to them how they should approach common entrance. I looked at it and I said, this is a wonderful production. And that's true, it is a really good production. I look at the bottom of the pamphlet over the leaf and I said, and I saw the National Mental Health Commission. And at the very bottom of it, it says Ministry of Health Barbados. And I said, this is interesting. And then I started to think, the Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union is another fine example of what we are capable of as a people. It was set up by public workers. This came out of the ministry, maybe directly from the National Mental Health Commission. But as I begin to think of those two things, I start to think that there's nothing really wrong with us. We as a people haven't invested billions of dollars over the years in our education system. I don't think anything is wrong with us. The problem we have in this country is leadership. You need leadership to bring out the potential of the people that is within them, for them to do things like this and to do things like what the Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union is doing. If we are to save this country from the downward slide and downward trend that it's on, we are going to need people who are able to replicate this kind of thing. And we are going to need people who understand what management is all about, what leadership is all about, and that is the problem in our country. And the big problem comes when we look at the politician. The politician, they do not know anything about management. They're not managers. And therefore, because they're not managers, they aren't able to guide the people in the civil service in the way they ought to be guided. But not only that, I tend to believe, seeing this and what I've seen before, that maybe these ministers of government are not listening. That could be the problem. They cannot be listening. Because if we can have people who do this and do what is happening, do what is being done in the Public Workers Credit Union, it means that the potential is there, but it's not being brought to the fore, and the ministers probably are not listening. And that is the problem we have in our country. People are like square pegs in round holes. These ministers are professional politicians. They are not managers. So therefore the country will suffer. It's the same problem we have in the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Education, and the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs. There's no leadership. So what happens? We suffer as a result. I'm looking forward to the day when we as a people will see this and begin to do our homework and ask the hard questions and say to our politicians, we hold you to a higher standard. We are not satisfied with what we are getting from you. This is what we need, and outline it to them. And if they then cannot meet the standards that we have set, tell them it's time to go. In the first place, don't elect them. Because if we had looked at this much carefully, we will realize they do not have the capacity to do what is necessary to get this country growing and growing and growing and growing. I hope we can really begin the real hard task of really looking at our management and our leadership and stop playing politics with the lives of the people of this country. Thank you.